Alright, we are here in the challenge series again, now for the final episode of Tier E. And we'll be doing Classic Valunga, Spa, and both the GP and Nordschleife versions of the Nürburgring. Well, actually, the endurance variation also includes the GP circuit, so... It's really a three-horse race. It would take a small miracle for anybody else to get into this points battle. So it's mostly down to John Garrison, Yoshiro Casquette, and Travis Wild for the points battle. It's 3 points between them. It's a tie for the points lead as we go into round 17. Classic Valunga. Valunga. I assume Valalunga. I have no idea. I've never heard. Again, same thing with Magione versus Magione. I've never heard of the track before until I played this game, and I've never heard of it outside of this game either. Just obscure Italian racetracks. But, it's looking good for Yoshiro, who will start ahead of the other two. Travis possibly looking to be a non-factor in this race, starting in 14th. Then again, I think I've said that before and been completely wrong, so who's to say? It's a Lamborghini front row. This is kind of rigged. At least it was, but Kari is overtaking Vittori. It's funny to me because unlike the classic variations of Silverstone and Monza, you can see where the regular version of this track is in comparison to this version. And suddenly there's Miyako. Miyako, it's... Again, that's, So that person is based... That character is based off a real... not a real person. But it's based off a real name from Japan, but because I've never actually heard the name said before, I don't know how to pronounce it. Travis has yet to move up the grid at all, and I think Garrison has also stayed precisely where he started. The only person that's gone anywhere out of like the kind of main three competitors is Yoshiro past someone. Past Cam off the grid. Or at least not, if not off the grid, then early on, one of the two. Miyako just about gets into Nitori. I mean, heck, Nitori is literally supposed to be a character from a different game, and like my possibly favorite video game character of all time. And I for about a year, I didn't even know how to say her name. And even still, I sometimes say Nitori instead of Nitori. And everyone else that knows about this character, so pretty much anybody I talk to on a regular basis, has also gotten so used to saying it as Nitori that it's now just like almost a moot point trying to get it back to the correct way of saying it. As Yoshiro is trying to pass, but that's not really the way you do it. Behind that, Garrison's gonna try and pass Ryan Wolf the correct way. And he will. Finally, somebody else moves up one. Well, Yoshiro and Miyako bickering has allowed Nitori to escape. All these Japanese names, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, are all the Japanese drivers are in the top 5. Everyone else is, from other countries, but all of the Japanese folk are 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And also 3 of the 4 are girls. Although it's kind of strange to say, as I hadn't even noticed Travis is up to 12. He's still not scoring, mind you, and he's not going to get a chance to score because we're about to begin the final lap. As I made this event a bit short, this probably could have been a 6-lap race, but I kind of didn't do that in the interest of I knew this track wasn't very interesting. But I also forgot it was kind of short. I probably would have made it 6 laps if I knew we were a minute 10 laps. Though at the same time, it's probably a good thing I had a short race here, because then otherwise we would have a hard time squeezing in the Nordschleife event at the end. Probably won't have much time for looking at instant replays if we choose to do so. I say we, if I choose to look at them for your entertainment. As in a very it wasn't eventless. I see somebody's out of the race. What? Well, I mean, look at this one quickly because I know it couldn't have been that long ago. Oh, I didn't even notice that happened that way. And I also caught Yoshiro a little bit, but they kept it going. Wow, it's sabotage. Okay, so with that bombshell, I think it's actually going to be a 3-way tie for the points lead. No, because John's in 5th. Never mind. So Garrison's going to take the points lead back, as he once had so long ago. Controversial scenes is... What the heck was that? What the heck are you doing? You don't even have suspension damage. What's your excuse there? Are you just driving angry at this point? I'm gonna say blame you, but still. But yeah, so after that bombshell, Miyako, like, wings it loose and her Z4 becomes a NASCAR. And, yep, now John Garrison has a 3-point lead. Suddenly, Nitori looks a lot closer than she did before, too, because she finished 2nd just there, I think. No, 3rd. I'm stupid. We were literally just in the race, and I already forgot what happened in it. Mikari was 2nd, and Wayne Hansen won the race. So Wayne's also kind of close, but not really at the same time. Anyways, into Spa. And looks like the game is trying to set up Nitori and Wayne to make a last-second comeback here. I don't think there's enough races left to do it myself, even if, like, well, let's say they're 27 points away. Nitori is. Wayne's 30 points away from Garrison. And Garrison also starts in... Am I blind? 7th. So he's going to be scoring more points. More than the other two. The other two start right behind him, though, so that'll be interesting. 7, 8, 9 are the 3 points fighter, or the 3 fighting for points win, or the points. Good lord, I did not know how to say that. They're the ones first, second, third in the championship are first, second, third, or 7th, 8th, 9th, respectively. This race I expect them to make up a couple points, but they're not going to close in by a ton. And after this race, they will be about 20 back with 30 more points on offer. It's not impossible, obviously, but like it's really not likely either. Especially not when Nitori does that and just like stalls or something off the line. I don't even know what to say, what to call that. Travis will get a better exit and pull ahead of Yoshiro. Thrasher and Garrison, however, oh no, Garrison got clear of Thrasher. Thrasher also kind of botched the start, and he'll fall down 2 places before we even get to Sector 2. Some weird stuff happened up here. Garrison to beat them too many more times because, well, you know, obviously that's increasing his points lead. And a bad race at Nürburgring could put it out of reach in the final round if Garrison performs as he does here. He doesn't need massive points. He doesn't need to take victories because his competition, Wayne and Nitori, are so far back that it's like, you know, incredibly unlikely that they will catch him in points. So he's gonna he just has to more so worry about keeping Travis and Yoshiro from scoring too many more. And also, if you thought the previous race was short, we're gonna follow a like 6-minute race and then have like an 11-minute race. Nitori, where are you going? And my god, Eric is just out of here. As Garrison will make an overtake on Miyako to put himself into 5th place. And while Thrasher is getting overcome by the other championship rivals as they try to not let him get too many more positions ahead. Ryan Wolf is absolutely hounding Wayne Hansen right now. This race proceeds in a kind of like vicariously boring way, starting around like lap 3. I'm not really convinced that'll happen, but in the event that it does, there are more character profiles, or driver profiles to read. Well, there's like 2 more anyway. Did I just see Brian just like bump Wayne out of the way? I was actually looking at my tablet, so I didn't really see anything. I just heard thunk, and then I see Ryan Wolf passing Wayne. I was like, oh, okay. And Hansen's gonna take attempt to take second back. He's going to fail. And if these two keep fighting, Detour will get to them, and if she starts fighting with those two, then Garrison's also going to get involved. Nobody wants that, except for Garrison. Now, the 2 Lamborghinis have created a wall. Travis has a run on the Z4. Does he take it? He does. Does he convert? No. He was not up far enough. Ryan Wolf starting to separate himself from the Lamborghinis behind. Probably due to Nitori kind of, like, probably just confusing Wayne a little bit more than anything else. Going for some sort of, like, half-baked, like, change lanes down the straightaway to try and, like, psych him out or something. I don't know. Apparently Taylor has been in a collision. I don't know when or how. I can't imagine we'll be able to find out, so I'm just not going to stress. Garrison has a huge run on Nitori. She will break very late and defend. Wayne will just about put himself off the track. Garrison's like panicking or something. I mean, I guess. Wouldn't want to lose the, or wouldn't want to get wrecked and lose the places he's worked so hard to gain. And Nitori will fall into line behind him. So that'll now kind of put the pressure on Travis or Yoshiro to get around the BMW ahead and keep kind of doing damage control back here. I need to hope for their own sake that Garrison doesn't make a pass on Wayne here. He probably could have, but he did weird things and, well, then didn't. further back, Taylor and Cam and Thrasher are kind of in the same clump along with Riley. Now, Riley's really somebody who hasn't been getting the luck of the starting grid lately. She showed like 13th here. She started last in the race before that. I don't remember where she started in the races in the previous episode, but she hasn't scored a lot of points lately, which doesn't really look good considering the other person in identical vehicle is currently the points leader. Now here we go. Hansen will brake incredibly aggressively, but Garrison may not care. I mean, I have a choice but to care, because I think Wayne still somehow has the run on him. No, it's actually Garrison with the run on Wayne? They're like dead even, but the outside lane at that corner is actually superior if you can hold it. So Garrison will take himself a podium. Meanwhile, Travis is not even close to the Z4. Nitori thought about having a pass on Wayne, but there's simply no room through Eau Rouge to try. I knew that was coming. I knew as soon as they tried moving over, I was like, well, that's not gonna work. Nothing doing there. This hasn't been the most entertaining race. If not for Garrison tearing his way from 7th to 3rd, this would have been an uncharacteristically tame race for Spa. Which typically is one of the better tracks for the AI to get into crazy door-to-door shenanigans, but they just didn't feel like it today. Half the time they would get runs coming out of Eau Rouge and then just not. Like they would just literally just let off like they didn't want to try and pass. It's like one of the biggest straightaways in the world, pretty much. One of the, anyway. I guess it's not that big, but it's plenty long. Like, you can definitely pass at the end of it if you get a run. It's not like there's a lack of time. Travis with the desperation move on Miyako isn't going to get him anything. The Lamborghinis both totally miss. And Nitori is going to pretty much barge Wayne out of the way, and Miyako's going to take advantage of that and take 6th back last second. That doesn't surprise me. Garrison with the fastest lap by over a second over everybody else. And man, James Stillwell was nowhere in this race. As we look now to the final 2 races. At the Nürburgring and Nürburgring Nordschleife, it's a 9-point lead for Garrison. Mathematically can still be won by Eric, but nobody else. And even with Eric, it's assuming that he wins both races and Garrison doesn't score basically at all. If Garrison ever finishes 9th, Eric is out of the running. And considering how he's been driving lately, I would be kind of surprised if Garrison didn't manage that. But on to the Nürburgring GP circuit. The starting grid for the GP Nürburgring circuit. And this is, well, the last thing Garrison needed to see, but it's also not what Yoshiro wants to see. She's starting dead last. This is Travis's race to even things back out, pretty much. He has to make up 9 points to retake the lead from Garrison, assuming he doesn't score. Which isn't impossible from where he starts. Especially based on his previous race in Spa, he can definitely make his way through the field a little bit better than the average. I thought he would take the lead right away, but Cam got away miles better than he did. Very gingerly through the first couple of turns. Garrison will pass one of the two Nissans. Arturo got ahead of Nitori on the start of the event. The GT layout of the Nürburgring of their GP course, so that chicane that is normally there is, well, more like a kink at this point. Garrison, I actually half expected him to be ahead of this Nissan by now. I think I probably could have done with making this or Spa 4-lap race, but it's all in hindsight now. Now I just have to hope that the Nordschleife fits in there, as that'll be almost a 20-minute race. It'll be like 17 probably, I think. Somewhere between 16 and 20, but I think it'd be about 17. It doesn't really seem like this race is going anywhere fast, so at the end of this lap I may begin reading the two other driver profiles that I have prepared. This does kind of atrophy the passing zone that can be made out of that chicane, though. I think that version of the chicane is also what will be used in the Nordschleife race. Travis may not need it, and he might just take the position here into turn 1. He may. They couldn't have gotten much closer there, that's for sure. He will not complete it. So I think we'll start the kind of the two driver profiles here. They are for Wayne Hansen and for James Stillwell, fittingly as they're both in the race. Referred to sometimes as Toro, both due to his temper as well as his choice of vehicle, Wayne Hansen was met with an inheritance at about 20. He wasn't very close with his grandpa, whom he inherited from, but it was hefty. He was also like the last remaining person who had any contact with his grandpa, and as such, Wayne got pretty much all of the fortune, leaving all of his grandpa's fortune, his house, and even his grandpa's Lamborghini. Temper and compulsion are usually not a good combo, but now he has a huge collection of fancy cars. He's a gentleman club driver now, often showing up to track days and open road events with his fancy garage of cars. He does also have a bit of mechanical knowledge, and knowing how to fix a Ferrari is very valuable and very rare information to have. This, mixed with his years of experience in some of the world's best sports cars, is how he got his spot in the Challenge Series. As I just saw a pass happen on the leaderboard, Riley is going to out-drag Ryan Wolf into turn 1. Ryan's not done yet. Also behind that, Nitori is looking to take honors of finishing not last from Yoshiro, and will not succeed. Garrison still has nothing for James ahead of him. As things sit right now, it would be Travis taking the points lead by, I believe, 3. James Stillwell is briefly stated one of those I am my own boss type of businessmen, or an entrepreneur if you will. He's not against scams or anything like that, and would do anything within logical reason to gain money. But it was never really out of malice, it was more out of lack of stability. College debt for a degree he never actually got a chance to use. Child support, it's a long story in itself. And a mom who was ill-equipped to take care of herself, make for a person who has about as much stress on his nerves as he does his wallet. He was lucky to have managed to get where he was with his business, especially so if now he's got time for spare time and spare money for racing. But he eventually got so good at driving that he didn't really need the business anymore, discovering that he had a thing for circuit racing. Now he is a member of Nissan's GT Driver Academy, and he just hopes that this time this academia actually makes a difference. Cam has no fear on the brakes into 1, and much as I'm sure that's probably getting on Travis's nerves at this point. But in the midst of that, here comes Miyako. If they scuffle again, she'll be right in the pipe to take it from them, or at least take something from them. May not be first, might be second, or it, of course, might be nothing. It'll probably be nothing. Let's be real here, but not necessarily. Not close enough to pass into this corner. I used to know what this corner was called, but I don't anymore. I used to have a name for it, at least I don't know if it was an official name, but it was a name. It's like the stadium corner, or the bleachers corner, or something dumb like that. But there aren't even any bleachers in the back of that corner on this game. That's on Project Cars too. So here we are. Garrison still found no answer for the Nissan in front of him. One more shot. I don't think he's got anything for him. Yeah, no, there's nothing. So, Cameron is going to win at the Nürburgring. But Travis, most importantly, will take second place either way, and that will move him into the points lead by, pretty sure it's 3. Yep, and we have arrived at the final race. Theoretically, Yoshiro can still win the championship, but it would take Travis not taking 9th place. Thing is, Travis can't clinch. It does come down to the final race. Even if Travis, unless Travis wins, obviously. But if Travis comes second, Garrison can still win the race and score enough points. Out of reach for anybody else now. It's just down to those 3, maybe. in typical fashion, as soon as I think nothing will happen, and I can just cut away for the next 5 minutes and come back when the race is actually, you know, gonna conclude and everything's gonna happen, we'll be all hunky-dory, that's when the AI just have a stroke, and we get this. This is the race leader here, mind you. This is Riley as she enters this kind of chicane. It's too much. And she is lucky to keep it going forwards and no less keep the lead, but she's got a wee bit of suspension damage now. Got identical damage basically to James. But will Diedrich actually be able to do anything with it? Probably not until the back straightaway, if at all. So again, I repeat, I will see you on the back straightaway, assuming nothing else stupid happens. I swear I cannot make this up. Wow, that just almost looks comical. I don't really blame Stowell here. He had a lot of suspension damage already. It's just like, again, that was literally seconds after the last cutaway, and we're back here. Literally, like, we've gotten through another minute of racing, and I caught that on the leaderboard, and I was just like, oh my god, you cannot make this up, dude. Okay, I swear, I will see you on the back straightaway. Honestly, at this point, I should just keep the camera rolling, but I don't wanna. This is just stupid at this point. Like, I might as well just keep it running, but I can't think of anything to, like, cut the silence for 3 more minutes, so yeah, back straight away, blah 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 blah. And okay, we've not missed anything else. Everything else has proceeded as normal. Riley hasn't crashed again. Akari manages to not totally die on the carousel. Does Riley survive the final corners with her suspension damage? And more importantly, does she do so without being passed by Diedrich? I don't think she'll be caught by Diedrich on the straightaway. However, making the next set of corners, the final set of corners no less, is going to be another story. I'm not convinced Riley should have won this race, but I mean, you know. She just about woes it down, so Riley is going to win at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Yoshiro can only manage 5th. So Travis, coming in 8th place, after Garrison gets hit with the big fat DNF, Travis Wild is going to win himself a 2nd Challenge Series championship. And get himself the fastest lap while he's at it. Everyone else will finish the course as planned, and we are done. Never mind, Ryan Wolf has taken the fastest lap. By 2 seconds, basically. Actually, not basically, literally by 2 seconds. Doesn't mean anything. It's not like F1, the fastest lap doesn't score anything, but I guess there's where the there's where the home court advantage came in handy a little bit. Yeah, 6 points. Travis Wild will score himself another championship. Even if Garrison had finished the race the way he was running in that event, he would not have scored enough to catch that anyway. It's pretty close in the middle pack, too, between 5th and 9th, really. 5th and 9th are 8 points apart. Bottom half is also very close. 10th to 14th is only 15 apart, and then poor Hikari just didn't. He scored a point in the final round, and he had less than half of the winner's points. Taylor had exactly half. Yeah, so that'll be the end of Tier E. Got a little sneak preview of Tier F. So a lot of the same contestants based on that little window of like half the roster. Got some speedy cars. And it says 20 right now. That may be 16 by the time we actually do the championship because, well, there have been quite a few stinkers in Tier E. And while some of them are just down to the cars being evenly matched, some of that is attributed to the tracks just being kind of lame. So it might be cut down to 16. I guess it really just depends. Yeah, that is Tier E. Travis wins the second one. I initially had an idea where I would make a Gran Turismo Sport video as a kind of a championship celebration thing, but A, I stopped doing that because it's a pain in the butt when no one else is going to help me record it, no one else is around to. And B, I already did one for Travis. He's the only one that got one after he won in Tier B, I believe. Might have been C. No, it was B, because C had the Caymans. There's been a different Porsche and a different Ferrari in every tier, and that doesn't stop here in Tier F as we see Travis Wild returns with a Porsche 918 Spider. Eric returns in a Ferrari 599 XX Evo. We're going to go back to bizarre car variety as we've got a lot of power versus handling. We got like raw handling with the Lotus 311, we've got raw power with something like the 918, so it should be an interesting event.